Is Anna online? Okay, triangle student. I think for sure this are triangles for your class. They started. And for others, how many sums ma'am has done students? Completed or okay, total how many? Two exercises, right? Ma'am finished. Okay, fine. And you'll have any doubts in the previous chapter, factorization? No, right? So you'll have to practice that students, okay? Go through that. And you, Jerusha, Anna, any doubts? Only thing it is bit lengthy students. In factorization, we had three or four exercise. Okay, so practice that. Next. Okay. Triangle is done. I'll teach everything from basic we'll start. Before that you all have to answer. What did you all understand in triangles? Tell me what are the types or what did you all understand? Yeah, be quick. All should tell me at least one point. What you all understood. Okay. Congruent. What is congruency? Directly congruency. Ma'am started congruency. Okay, fine. Congruency. Then others, any one well thing students about triangles. What you all concentrated, what you all understood. Start Alia. Okay, Henry. Congruency. See, forget about congruency student. Basic. Tell me about triangle. What are the types of triangles? What are the types of triangles? You, Alia, Anna, isosceles, scalene. Okay. What about Anna? That is types. Anything else? You remember what ma'am taught? Jerusha? Nothing? Not even one point? What about Jerusha? Why Jerusha is not responding? Ah, see, all the chapters you have to use different formula, Jerusha. Any specific one type? Okay, side angle side. That comes under which one? Okay, conditions. So you all are telling me congruency part students. Basic thing you are not answering. A triangle. Okay, fine. We'll start with that. We'll start with very basic. A triangle has how many sides? Three sides. And if I write it as A, B, C, how many vertices? All of you will respond. Three vertices, right? So we have three sides. Three. This is what I'm asking about. Three vertices. How many angles are there? Three angles. So when it comes to side, how do you answer the side students? If you all don't know this basic, definitely you'll struggle how to write congruency. Okay, what are the three sides we have? AB, BC, and AC. This is how you write sides. Side meaning if I take AB, it has to have a starting point A and ending point B. That is why you represent AB. Some students get confused with this an angle. If I tell side, they'll write AB. Is this the way to write AB? No, you shouldn't write this angle symbol. Okay, and if I tell angle, they'll write AB here. So they'll interchange the values. So side meaning A to B, B to C, A to C. Vertex. Vertex is just a point where two lines meet. What are the three vertices we have? B and C. Again they get confused with sides and vertex. Vertex meaning single point, single alphabet, A, B, C. Now angles. Angle is the most important part. What are the three angles we have? Angle A, B and See, look there. First thing, this is a normal way. Angle A, angle B, and angle C. So how is angle A formed, students? How angle A is formed using two lines, right? What are the two lines? AB and AC. So you have to write it. You can write it as just angle A or the starting point BAC, or you can write it as CAB. These are three ways to represent angle A. Can you see A is in between, right? So when you're writing the angle, that angle should be in between, student. That alphabet should be in between. Is this clear? Understood how to represent angle? These are the important concepts. Next, tell me for angle B, how will you all represent? You can just write B, or what's the starting point? Yes, you can start from A, B, C, and what's the other way? C, B, A. See, the angle B, I can even start from C to B and from B to it. This is the angle. Next, tell me for angle C, how do you write angle C, students? Well, if you'll respond, it's very simple. See, put angle C in between. What are the two alphabets we have? A, C, B, and B, C. No, C should be in between. A, C, B, B, C, A. Any doubts how to write the angles? Okay, if you want to make a note or just go through this, especially the angle part. Look at the way how to write angle. Is it clear, students? Understood? Okay, so don't have to write. Just ignore. Remember the concept. Next, what is the relation between angle and sine? How is the data angle? A, B, C. Total how many angles are there? Three angles. And where are these three angles? Inside the triangle or outside? Inside. So we call them as interior angles. Interior angles of a triangle. Okay, we call interior angles of a triangle. And how do you measure angle ABC, students? How do you measure it? You'll know protractor. All of you know what is protractor, right? If I keep a protractor here and protractor has numbers, what are the numbers protractor has? It has from 0 to 180. And what's a straight line? The straight line 90 degrees. So protractor has 0 to 180 degrees, students. So in order to measure the angles, we use instrument called protractor. So this angle, imagine 50 degrees, this 70 degree, and this angle is 60 degree. Together, when you add all three, what should be the value? When you add all three value angles, it could be 180 degree. Sherlin, do you know this? Jerusha, Sherlin, when you add all three, what is the value, students? You have to get 180 degree. This is known as, what are we adding? What are we doing here? Addition or subtraction? Addition. Addition we call sum. Okay, this is how we write the property sum of what kind of angles are these? Interior or exterior? Interior. Sum of interior angles of a what kind of figure is this? Triangle. So whatever I've written, I'm going to convert into sentence statement. Sum of interior angles of a triangle should be equal to, is equal to 180 degree. Make a note. Draw a triangle. All of you will write this 7, 6, 5. All of you done? Completed? Interior angle of a triangle should be equal to 180 students. That is how we written angles. And how do you calculate angles? Using protractor. Okay. Now, if you observe the angles, are the angles same or different? Tell me, all the angles are different, right? 50, 60, 70. Now, if I write it in order, students, tell me which is greater angle here. Angle A? No, no, angle A should be written first. Angle A is greater than, which is the second one? How come angle B? Angle C. Okay, let me change the value here. I'll write B as 60, 50. Okay, angle B. Angle B is greater than, which is the other angle? Angle C. So they're not equal. This is the order. A is greater than B, B is greater than C. Now, if you observe the side, whichever has largest angle, that opposite side will be greater. Can you? Which is the greatest side of all three? Respond. BC. Isn't it opposite to angle A? You have to understand this. BC will be greater to, which is opposite to B? AC. AC will be greater than, which is the last angle? AB. This is the important concept. So whichever side is angle is greater, that opposite side will be greater. Make a note of this. Just write 50, 60, 70 degrees, and sides are centimeters. 7. See, all these are 8th standard concept basics, but still it is important. Only then you'll understand congruence and other calculation. Yes, Alia completed. Are you doing it? All of you are done? Okay, now comes types of triangles, students. Types of triangles. Are all three angles different and all three sides are also different? So what do you call this as? Scale and triangle. So what do you mean by scale and triangle, students? All of you will respond. A scale and triangle will have all three and even angles, right? Sides and angles should be different. That is known as scale and triangle. Okay, next. So what we studied before was a scale and triangle. Next one. If I take 50 degrees here, 50 degree. Two sides are equal. Angles are equal, right? So when two angles are equal, 50 and 50, what will be the third angle? What's the formula I gave you? Sum of interior angles should be equal to angle A plus angle B plus C should be equal to 180. Use this. This is the only formula we use to find any one missing angle, students. So angle A as it is. What is angle B? 50. If I substitute 50 plus 50 is 100. If it goes to the other side, it gets minus 100. What is 180 minus 100? 80 degree. Understood how to calculate an angle, missing angle? Okay. What about you, Sherlin? Anna, Sherlin, Jerusha? Fine. Don't write this. Don't write this. Let me erase. I've just taught you how to find the third angle. Next. This type of angle, triangle, we call it as isosceles triangle. Isosceles triangle. So what is isosceles triangle, students? Any two angles should be equal. So if any two angles are equal, their opposite side also will be equal. Which is the opposite side to B? Which one is the opposite side? AC. Which is opposite to C? AB. Now tell me the angle, which two angles are equal? Angle B is equal to angle B. Yeah. Below that, what is the side? Which two sides are equal? AC is equal to, how can BC? Who's telling BC? How is it BC, Jerusha? Is it BC? Make a note of this. This is isosceles triangle. If any two sides angles are equal, their opposite sides are also equal. Just put isosceles and write this. And maintain notes, students. Write in a single notebook. Done? Shall I do the next one? Third. Now, before starting the next one, if I take 60 degrees, if I take 50 degrees here and 50. Now tell me which two angles are equal. Angle A is equal to angle B. Then which two sides will be equal, student? Just put opposite direction. Which two sides are equal? AC will be equal to BC. So opposite to angle A, I'll write BC here, will be equal to AC. What do you mean by that? If BC is 5 centimeter, AC will be 5. So without calculating, without writing, tell me the values. If A is 50, B is 50, what is C, students? 80. 50 plus 50, 100. 180 minus 100 is 80 degree. Now, other question is, which side will be greater here? Which is the largest side here? Which is the largest angle? See, what did I tell you all? Opposite to the largest angle, which side will be greater? AB. So if this is 5 and 5, definitely AB will be more than 5. It can be 6, 7 or 8. This is the concept. Understood? Okay, this is known as isosceles triangle. Now we finished scale triangle where all three angles were different. We did isosceles. Next step is equilateral triangle. What do you mean by equilateral? First angles. First you have to give preference for angles. All three angles are equal and all three sides are also equal. So this is a fixed concept, students. In equilateral triangle, what's the value of each angle? Each angle will be 60 degrees. And all three sides are equal, which means if one side is 5, the other side is also 5. If you want to make a note or just ignore equilateral triangle. Clear? Next. The fourth type of triangle is a right angle triangle. What do you mean by right angle, students? Yes, any one angle should be equal to how much? 90 degrees. This is a normal right angle triangle. Okay. The other type of triangle is isosceles right angle. A, B, C. We studied in trigonometry. Right angle. Isosceles right angle is isosceles right angle triangle. So what do you mean by isosceles right angle, students? If one is 90, the side which is touching this 90 degree, these two angles will be equal. If this is 5, this also will be 5. If any two sides are equal, what do you call them? Isosceles, right? So 90 degree, definitely these two will be 45 and 45 degrees. Make a note of this. Right angle and isosceles right angle. Is it clear or if you're done? Right angle. The other one is isosceles right angle. Okay, next. These are the types of triangle, students. So we studied what is triangle, angles, side, vertex, sum of interior angle of a triangle, interior angle, types of triangle. Next one is median. Did ma'am teach what is median? No? Without that, how will you solving the questions? Okay, median, students. Median is nothing but, let me take BC. If BC is, concentrate this important concept, median, meaning if BC is 10 centimeter, let me take a middle point in this, middle point, and I'll name it as E. What will be the value of B to E and E to C? If entire value is 10, B to E will be 5, E to C will be 5. This is known as midpoint. Clear? We call this as midpoint of line BC. From this midpoint, opposite vertex, you connect it like this. This line is known as median. What do you call this line as? Median. And this median is for BC. In the same way, for AC, I'll take the midpoint and I'll connect it to BC. This is also median. So a triangle has how many medians, students? 3 median. E, F, G. These three are known as medians. So very simple. From any one side, if I take the middle line point and I connect it to the opposite vertex, we call median. And these three lines are said to be congruent. What are the three lines we have? A is one line. Next, BF. How come BE? Uh, G and C, right? Or CG. So look at the way I've written A to E. You start from the vertex. You can't write EA, student. Don't write EA, write AE. Start from the vertex. Next, BF. Then EG. And these three lines are said to be concurrent. What do you mean by concurrent? They meet at a single point. Can you see the single point? And this point, I'll name it as, I'll change the alphabet so that it won't become, see, I'll name this as D, I'll name this as E, I'll name this as F. A to D is 1, B to E, C to F. And where these three lines meet, we name it as G. G is nothing but centroid. The name given to that center point where all three meets, what do you call it as? Centroid. G is the centroid. Okay, and there is a value for AG and GD, students. The ratio between AG is to GD is equal to 2 is to 1. In the same way, what's the other median? BG is to, from B to G and G to E. The ratio will be what? 2 is to 1. Next, tell me the next median, students. CG is to GA. The ratio is 2 is to 1. Make a note of this, put median, write all this. G is the centroid where all 3 points meet, you call centroid. So if you've done median, any doubts? The AG students and some students they misunderstand. They write DG, they think DG is to GA is 2 is to 1. Is this 2 is to 1? Is it correct? From where do we consider? From D to G or A to G students? What did I tell you? We should always start from vertex, right? Yeah. So it is A to G, G to D, vertex. Okay, start from vertex and these are the values. Median is done. After that, the next concept is altitude. Do you know what's the meaning of altitude? What's the other name for altitude students? It is known as height. So what do you mean by altitude? Let me take a triangle. And this median and altitude, it is applicable for all the types of triangle. Scalene, isosceles, equilateral. So we'll be applying all this concept when we start solving the question. Now next, altitude. What do you mean by altitude? Altitude is nothing but we don't start from the base. For altitude, we always start from vertex. From vertex, if I draw a straight line, the angle formed here should be 90 degrees. Okay. If this is 10 centimeters, students, it doesn't mean I'll give this altitude as AD. It doesn't mean BD should be 5 and DC should be 5. The distance doesn't matter. So we're not talking about the distance here, we're talking about the angle formed. What's the angle formed? A and D. What's the angle formed? 90 degrees. In the same way, if I join from B to the opposite side, what should be the angle formed here? 90. And again, from this 90 degree in the sense, it's a straight line, altitude. Okay. What's the angle formed here? 90. And for median, did I tell anything like that? Did I tell 90 degrees? No. Remember this. Median is not 90 degree. Median is all about distance, students. midpoint. Okay, now there are three altitudes here: altitude AD, altitude BE, and CF. And wherever these 3 points meet, even they are concurrent. Concurrent meaning they all three join at the same point, and this point we known as, we give it a name called O. O stands for orthocenter. For median, what was the name we gave for median? All of it. Centroid. And for altitude, what's the name we give? Orthocenter. Yes. Make a note of this. Right altitude, put 90 degrees. Right orthocenter. So tomorrow we'll start congruency concept. All of you completed orthocenter concept, right? Okay. So today's homework, whatever we have done, students, you have to go through all the concept. We did types of triangle, centroid, orthocenter, sum of interior. Now the last concept left is, we studied what is interior angle, right? Interior, next exterior angle. Exterior angle of a triangle. So what do you mean by exterior angle? If I take A, B, and C, and if I extend the line like this, E, can you see an angle is formed here? Right? This angle we call it as exterior angle. And how do you name it? What's the starting point of the students? Can we take A as the starting? Like this? So how do you write this angle? Angle ACT. You can't write angle C because we are not sure about whether it is this angle or this angle. Did you understand? Yeah, if we just write angle C, yeah, we don't know whether it is interior or exterior. So where is this angle formed? At which vertex? We have two angles. At vertex C, right? So vertex C has two angles. What are the two angles? Exterior angle and interior. So whichever vertex has two angles, you have to write it like this: angle ACD. And what's the interior angle formed? How will you write angle interior? Angle ACD or B? Yes, B. Make a note of this. This is interior angle and this is exterior angle. Inside and outside. I will made a note. Interior. Now this exterior angle, students, this exterior angle ACD, remember this concept, will be equal to sum of interior angle, angle A plus angle B. For example, if I take this as 50 degree and this as 60 degree. So according to this exterior angle concept, how much is 50 plus 60? 110. Angle ACD will be equal to how much? 1. This is the concept. Okay, in this there's one more part. I'll explain that tomorrow. This is 110. Now I'll extend the angle like this. Okay, 50 plus 60, 110. What will be angle C? Interior angle? Yes, very good. 180 minus 110 is 7. Now, if I extend a line like this and I'll name it as E, students. Now tell me the exterior angle. What's the exterior angle formed? What's the other exterior angle formed? You can take anything. You can either start from E or B. Anything is fine. Nobody is responding. Other exterior angle. This one. Angle. Should I take EAB? Right? EAB will be equal to interior opposite angle. Which is interior opposite angle? No, no. Interior opposite angle is which one for this one? Angle B and C. Angle B plus angle C. Okay. Now I'll extend another line like this. Can you see exterior angle is formed at B? Tell me how will you write this angle, students? All of you will respond. Shall I take, yes, DBC or shall I take CBD? Both are same. So this will be equal to which one? Which is interior opposite? Angle A plus angle C. So this is 120. Here it should be 130 degrees. And what is this, students? 50 plus 70? 120. So from here we got to know that exterior angle of a triangle should also be equal to, will be equal to, when you add all three, what is ACD value we got? ACD is how much? 110. What is EAB? 130. And what is CBD? If you add all three, what is the exterior angle of a triangle? It should be equal to 360. Sum of exterior angle of a triangle is equal to 360. So that's it. This is all about triangles. Tomorrow we'll start congruency. So basically all this we used only one triangle, right? For the entire concept. We used only one triangle, right? When two triangles are involved, that is known as congruency. So when you study two triangles together, that is what you call congruency. Okay, I'll explain in detail. We'll do that tomorrow. Make a note of this. Exterior angle of a triangle. All of you completed exterior angle? Okay, that's it, student. That's it for today. Tomorrow we'll continue with congruency. So, what are the concepts we studied today? All of you will respond. No, no, from beginning. See, beginning of the class, I asked you all. You all didn't tell me the order. Correct. Sides, angles, next, vertices, then, this is what I asked you all. Now, is it clear? This is how you'll have to study, and this is how the teachers have to teach. Each and everything you have to cover. Directly, you shouldn't start with congruency. Okay, side, angle, vertices, types of triangle. In types of triangle, isosceles. No, no, no. Isosceles. Yes. Scale in first, isosceles, then equilateral, and isosceles right angle. Okay, that was types of triangle. Before types of triangle, what we studied? Interior angle, and last what we covered? Exterior. Before, in between interior and exterior, there were two other things. Very good. Median, altitude. So these are the concepts you have to cover before starting congruency. Just make a note. Just go through all this. Did we miss out anything? Interior, exterior, median. Are you all thorough with all the concepts? Okay, what was left? Interior, exterior. Sum of interior angle. What is sum of interior angle? Interior angle is equal to 180. If I ask sum of exterior angle, very good, 360. Almost there are 8 to 10 topics, and tomorrow we'll start congruency. Fine. So for homework, go through everything and attend tomorrow. Clear? Fine. That's it for today. You all can leave, students.